Now I want to talk to you today about losing a dog. It's one of the hardest things as pet owners will go through in life. I wouldn't underestimate how sad it is. I've lost 2 dogs in the last week. I run a shelter here in Thailand, Happy Doggo, and we lost little Kerry and Big T, albeit 2 dogs who came into us already very sick. But just because they're in the shelter doesn't mean that we don't love them just like pets. I'm out with Panda, who's a dog who was just saved from death. I could have been grieving him, but we managed to bring him back. We've also lost dogs not too long ago, like Alba, Tina, Donut, Snoop, Jumbo. The list goes on and on. So I think I'm a little bit experienced to talk about this subject. And it's something that I get asked a lot from pet owners around the world. Now I will say, not every dog is the same. Some dogs will hurt more than others. I've had cases where the grief has snuck up on me by surprise. You don't realize how close you are to the dog until they're gone. Some are a little bit easier than others. It definitely hits you in different ways, just as losing humans might hit you in different ways. Sometimes you're prepared for it and you've mentally prepared for it, and it is easier. Other times it's a little bit harder. It might have surprised you or come out of nowhere, which is what I'm dealing with Big T today, who died last night. It wasn't a surprise, but the end came very quickly, and you do question yourself. Did I say goodbye correctly? Did I give them enough time? Did I make the right decision? Did I get them enough vet treatment? The very fact that you're asking yourself those questions means that you probably did everything within your powers. So don't doubt yourself is one thing I would say. Another one that I would say is very random. This is a tip that I think should be more prevalent, is ask for a day off work. I used to run my own companies, and people would ask for sick days for different reasons. And if somebody came to me, albeit I'm a dog lover, but if somebody came to me and said they were struggling so much because their pet had died, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I don't think a lot of bosses would have a problem with that if you're honest and explain just how much it's hurting. You are going through a life-changing event that a creature that you spent maybe 10, 15 years with, every second of every day has just vanished and has just gone. And that's tough and that's hard to process mentally. So if you need a day off or a long weekend, just ask for it, or take some of your annual leave. Time off is really essential. One of the toughest is being there with the dog at the end. I know a lot of people might skip this part and not do it, but I promise you, I haven't seen, I would say 20 or 30 dogs die in person at this stage. I know in those last moments, the dog is absolutely counting on you. There's a moment just as they die where their eyes kind of get big and they look straight into your soul, and they are happy that you're there. Even me, as somebody who passes into their life quite quickly, might be for a few months at a time, they are just happy to have company when they slip away. So going on that final journey with your dog, if you can, is really, really important, and it is not something that you will regret. You will be delighted in future months and years that you have gone out and done that. Truly though, there's only one thing that fixes it, and believe me, as I said, I've gone through this so many times. The only thing that fixes the grief of losing a dog is time. There's nights where I've stayed up thinking about the dog. There's days where I've walked aimlessly. There's days where you feel sad and you hide under the bed covers. The good news is it takes time. In some cases 1-2 years. I know people who've suffered for even longer, but time is the one thing that will fix your grief. And I know that's maybe not a great help for you right now if you're suffering, or if you've recently lost a pet, but any of the dogs that I have lost over the last 4 or 5 years, I look back on them now with fond memories. I think of the times we spent together, the adventures we went on, the running we did together, the treats they had, and my heart is full of joy that I was lucky enough to have known them. So the one thing that does fix this, I promise you, is time. Very, very important thing. I guarantee you that if you go and look on your phone, you have 2,000-3,000 photos of your dog. If you're anything like me or other dog lovers out there, What I'm talking about here is the memories that you have created together. That's why it's so difficult losing a dog, because they're these wonderful creatures who enhance your life and make you create extra memories. Might be going to the beach, might be going on a little walk, might be going on a holiday, it could be just sitting on the couch. But the good thing is, if you're struggling with grief, what I would do is just close your eyes. I can close my eyes and vividly remember adventures I went on with Tina, walks I went on with Jumbo, beaches I walked down with Snoop. They're in your camera reel, they're in your head forever. So I know you're probably missing those experiences right now after having lost a dog, but just remember that those are imprinted into your head and into your phone and into your pictures, wherever they are, forever. And that's a wonderful thing to have. Second best tip that I have, apart from the last one, is to live your life like your dog did. That sounds strange if you've maybe lost a pet, but you will have seen with your dog, it's the reason why we love them so much. They never waste a second. They never look backwards. They only look into the future as creatures. And having lost dogs, that's how we need to think and how we need to approach it. Yes, it's sad and it's heartbreaking and it rips a part of your soul out, but you wouldn't be feeling that grief if you hadn't felt that amount of love from the dog. So the best thing that you can do to remember that dog is go out and live your life like the dog does. They're always wagging their tail. They're always excited to see you. They're always up for an adventure. And if you have another dog, two things. One is to watch out for that dog, because they also grieve. I've seen it many times when we lose a dog. Other dogs get upset when they're gone. But the second thing is to take that dog now out on walks. If you have a dog and you haven't lost them and you're watching this video and you just are worried about the day when you might lose them, just create memories, go on walks, have that extra treat, go and enjoy the company of your dog, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it in the world.